Hello everyone, it's me Pavlo with adorable daily dose of Ukrainian accent for you. Today we are going to talk about a fresh release by Snowsky, one of the most awaited. It's the new super small player Echo Nano. Echo lines of players became pretty popular, especially outside the traditional audiophile community. It appeared that people really want some small portable travel companion that can just play music from their microSD cards. So Fio decided to double down on that and released even smaller players that reminds that small MP3 playing sticks that we had somewhere in the middle of 2000s. But of course, Fio approached this task with modern schematics in mind. So this player is built on Cirrus Logic 43131 chip and delivers up to 120 milliwatts of power. What else it can offer? What is it good for? How it looks? How it behaves? Let's find out this all in this video. Price is about $65 and let's have a closer look. Box is pretty traditional for the Snowsky. It's compact with bright colors. I really like this hint of emerald they've selected here. Not much information on the box, but it's typical for Fio. So inside you getting another cardboard box. On top there is a player and accessories, but basically all accessories you'll get, it's some papers and the USB Type-C cable. It would be nice to see some case in the accessory set or something like that, but most likely they won't fit the price, and I'm pretty sure we'll see a lot of cases and stuff like that available as a third-party option. In terms of design, player is nothing but cute. It's small, it's made of metal, it feels pretty solid. It's available in many different color options. So layout is pretty simple. On the bottom or like on the left side, I'm not sure what is considered the proper orientation for this player. So on one side you getting 3.5mm socket for headphones. On the other side we have microSD slot and the USB Type-C for charging. And speaking about charging, you'll get from 5 to 7 hours of work with this player. I've seen a lot of complaints that it's too few and a lot of comparisons to players from early 2000s, but you need to understand the difference because battery size here is pretty small and capacity is also small. But at the same time, here used a pretty full-featured digital to analog conversion chip, Cirrus Logic 43131, and this player has pretty significant for its size output power, so that's why battery lifetime is pretty reduced here. We have 3 buttons here, and also we have this knob. It can be rotated, and also you can press knob itself, or you can press here as a button. So here on the top it's on off, screen lock and others. Here we have 2 buttons for navigation and 1 button to confirm. On the front panel we have a small screen, it's less than 1 inch. So now it's flickering on the screen. I will try to change FPS, maybe that will help, we'll see. But overall build quality is superb. It's really pleasant to hold it in hand. Rotation is nice, all clicks are well registered, so overall it's a pretty nice gadget. And also need to mention that there is a small hole for the lanyard, so you can carry it on your neck if you'd like to. Okay, I played a little bit with shutter speed, ISO and frames rate for this video. Hopefully it will make screen better looking on the video. Of course, in real life it doesn't flicker that much and it looks pretty nice. It's small but at the same time crisp. Main menu consists of 5 items. You can navigate them using this knob, or you can navigate them using the bottom button. So, file browser, and for confirmation, you always need to click this button. And if you want to go back, press and hold it for 2 seconds. I'm always trying to confirm by pressing this button, but it just turns screen off. I really hope that FIO will release firmware update where you can also rebind the buttons. So I'd like to use this one for screen locking and this one for confirmation. So file browser, you can select your memory card or built-in flash, and then you can navigate menu. So just 2 lines simultaneously. Of course, this player is not the best option for a huge memory card, but I'm using 128 gigabytes here. Media library, now playing all songs, favorites, artists, albums, genres, navigation by folder, and media library update. So music playback will go to the now playing screen later. In the music settings, you can select loop settings, equalizer, just some presets, and also you can set up custom equalizer. Not the most convenient way of doing that, but it's possible. So let's go back. You can select low pass filter, channel balance, volume limit, gain adjustment, and that's it. So pretty minimalistic settings. And in the system settings, screen settings, here you can rotate it 180 degrees, screen timeout, brightness, and that's it here. Shutdown settings, knob control, regular or global or volume only. It depends what you want. So for now, it's changing volume on the only on now playing screen. Then you can enable disable charging, select language information, format support, reset settings, and format built-in memory. So let's select something in the media library. So traditionally for FIO players of the affordable segment, it sorts contents of the memory card by creation time. And if you want it to be organizer, Google how to use FAT sorter utility, FAT sorter. It allows you to properly sort creation time for the files, and then they will be organized by the alphabet, as you can see here. So just a few seconds, not super convenient, but at the same time, it's working. And here is now playing screen. You can see track name, artist name, a bit of information, and this button works as play pause. These 2 buttons are navigation back and forward. Also, you can scroll the track if you press and hold these buttons. Here, double click will move you to short settings related to the sound. Double click of this button will lock the screen. Here it's locked, and another double click unlocks it. This button, double click, changes the interface. You can see it's a bit different, or you can get this one with peak meter. And double clicking this button will add or remove track from the favorites. So basically, pretty okay interface and firmware for this size, not without some minor issues, but pretty palpable. Needless to say, sound-wise, it's a pretty good device. Sound is surprisingly good for this price range and for this small size. And that's the outcome of taking a nice Cirrus Logic chip and utilizing it to the full potential. We're getting natural sound signature without any significant coloration, but at the same time not sounding dry or monitoring. So really good balance that is allowing your earphones to do all the coloring you want, and player just delivers natural sound. Bass goes to maximum depth, it's nicely controlled, it stays on its place. Maybe it's not some groundbreaking amount of small nuances, but still bass here shows pretty good texturing and nice realism. When necessary, it delivers good rumble. When necessary, it can show nice weight. But at the same time, it doesn't try to add anything here. And as an example, it's Christian Scott, Spy Boy, Flag Boy. So screen is flickering again because I reverted my camera back to my regular settings. But believe me, it's Christian Scott, and it's a really well recorded track with nice bass work, and this player delivers it on a really good level. Mid frequencies are well balanced. You're getting a nice amount of small nuances, but not too much. And because of that, it's not super critical for the quality of record, but at the same time allows you to hear the difference between remasters and things like that. Basically, a good amount of nuances and details, enough for even pretty complex tracks, but of course not at some audiophilic level or something like that. Imaginary stage is not huge, but still noticeably above average in width and a bit bigger than average in depth. Not holographic, but pretty spacious and properly built. So no attempts to boost anything to or hide or smooth or something like that. And as an example for the mid frequencies, let me toggle it. It's Annihilator, My Precious Lunatic Asylum. I really like this track because at first it sounds like it's just about the speed and trying to play guitars, drums, and other instruments as fast as possible, but then you understand that waters create really nice and catchy riffs and great tunes, and behind all that speed you getting a pretty nice tune, and this player is technical enough to give you that all. And the treble, of course, it's a bit simplified, but it has nice extension, proper attacks and decays, no attempts to boost it or to hide, and that gives you really nice basic overtones. Of course, layering and extended overtones are pretty simple, but we don't expect any audiophilic performance here, so high frequencies just give you enough of overtones to make everything sound spacious and realistic. And as an example for the treble, what I have selected, oh yes, Space Oddity by David Bowie. Great guitars with lot of nuances, lot of overtones, and vocal and guitars all go to the high frequencies. Of course, it's not delivering this track at 100%, but at the same time it sounds pretty nice and engaging. In terms of pairings, it's a pretty versatile device. It's not super powerful, but it delivers a surprisingly lot of power for such a small form factor. It's 120 milliwatts for 32 ohms load, and it's more than enough for virtually any IEMs and for vast majority of full-size headphones. Of course, it won't be great choice for power-hungry planars or multi-hundred ohms of impedance full-size headphones, but average dynamic driver full-size headphones or sensitive planars, it will drive without any issues, making it a pretty versatile solution. And it has a nice black background too. Maybe it's not absolutely black, but background noise is really low even with sensitive IEMs, which makes it pretty versatile. And I don't think there is much sense in comparing it with anything else because it's unique in terms of form factor, but I can say that it's pretty close in terms of sound quality with its bigger brother Echo Mini. Maybe Echo Mini is a bit better with treble, but this difference is like you need to do some detailed A/B tests to distinguish that. And speaking about overall value, probably there could be a lot of complaints. Like if I'd go nitpicking, I can say that I'd like to see bigger screen, longer battery lifetime, maybe some case in the accessory set, preferably with clip, onboard Bluetooth. But at the same time, I understand that few were operating within the giving pretty low margins in terms of price, and they were focusing on delivering best possible sound quality and nice enjoyable form factor for this gadget, and they succeed in these aspects. It's really pleasant to use it, and it sounds surprisingly nice. So in this aspect, I can definitely say that it's a pretty good player. Thank you for listening, thank you for your attention, and have a great day.